Hey guys, what's going on? It's Waldo, and today I'm bringing you guys the start of another new series on my channel. This one, of course, also on Madden NFL 15, but it's not going to be a coach or even an owner mode. It's going to be a connected franchise player mode, and we're going to be using a balanced halfback. I had him go undrafted, and that running back is none other than Marcus Dupree. And I couldn't choose 22, by the way. It was between 29, 35, 39, 40, 41, 43, 45, 48, and 49. So 29 was closest, so I just ended up choosing that. But, one of the classes in my school that I take, we just finished watching the ESPN 30 for 30 on Marcus Dupree, the best that never was. And I figured, it'd be pretty cool to do a player mode with this guy, because this guy was just such a beast. This guy had all the talent in the world, and that's why he's the best that never was. He just was never able to fully get it going, and some people believe that's his fault. Some people believe that's the coach at Oklahoma's fault. Some people believe that it's a combination of things, but regardless, we're going to be doing a player mode with Marcus Dupree. As you see, halfback 29. I have his college at Oklahoma. If you don't know the story, he was highly recruited coming out of high school. He had the main three offers were Texas, Oklahoma, and Southern Mississippi, and he ended up choosing Oklahoma, stayed there for 2 years, but he just had too many problems with the coach, and the coach actually said, and Coach Barry Switzer, coach actually said that one of his biggest regrets was the way he treated Dupree, but Dupree ended up dropping out of Oklahoma, and then he ended up transferring to SMU, but they were not going to allow him to play football, so he dropped out of there as well. And then he went to the USFL, and that league, if you don't know, the United States Football League, that league actually waived a rule. Initially, they would not accept sophomores, and that's what Marcus was at the time, but they waived that rule to allow Marcus to play with them, and he did pretty well with the New Orleans franchise there. And then he took a bit of a break, and injury caused him to go to the sidelines for a long time. But 5 years later, he actually made a comeback. He was exercising vigorously every day, and he actually got to go to training camp with the Los Angeles Rams. He actually made the team. He was there for a couple years, and then he ended up being the leading rusher in the preseason for them, but ended up getting cut, and that was the end of his football career. But I figured it would be pretty cool to do a career with him in Madden, and that way you can see all this stuff. I tried to look for a helmet that exactly replicated the one he wore at Oklahoma, but I couldn't really find one, so I ended up just giving him this Revolution Speed Robot running back helmet. I think it looks pretty slick. Obviously, he didn't wear a visor, he had no face marks, he used neck pad, and I tried to make him as close to what am I trying to say? I tried to make him look as close to the way he did at Oklahoma, so that's why you see this undershirt is white. He wore these elbow pads that obviously at Oklahoma were red, but here they're going to be blue, and then I could not tell if his wrists were taped or if they used wristbands, but I kind of like the way the wristbands looked more, because if we go to tape wrists, it doesn't really cover up the entire forearm area right there, so I ended up just going double wristbands white. He actually did not wear gloves, so I did not give him gloves, and everything else is pretty much that. Sock height is high, and his shoes are, I like the Nike Zoom Vapor Carbon, so that's what I gave him. And obviously going undrafted, his overall is not that high, but he has the superstar development trait, which is always good. So strength 75, agility 75, speed was 90, acceleration 85, awareness and carrying is 75, catching is 70. So this guy really is a threat really anywhere, especially when he gets developed into what he can be. Pass blocking 55, run blocking 54, 65 jumping, 99 kick punt return. So we might get some time there early in the season. If not a running back, then definitely here. And 70 trucking, 75 elusiveness, 75 ball carrier vision, 70 stiff arm, 70 spin move, 70 juke move, 60 impact blocking, 64 spectacular catch, 45 catching traffic, 48 route running, 95 injury, 90 stamina, and 95 toughness. And I'm pretty sure all these are no, as they usually are when you first create a player, and it is. So that's just the overview of Marcus Dupree, and I forgot about all this. And if you see my other series on this channel, you would know that I can't play on all Madden. I guess I could if I wanted to. In fact, I might do it. Depends on how well I'm playing. But the slider set is more acclimated to all Pro than all Madden, so that's why I'm doing that. Accelerated clock I'm going to put down to 15 as normal. Game speed slow, it's another prerequisite of the slider set, and that's in the description if you guys ever want to check them out. That would be end of season. And I think all the rest of this stuff, or at least most of it, should be good. We're going to kick, against win, that's just a personal preference. Strafe assist, well, I'm not going to be playing defense, so that doesn't really matter. Coaching tips, I'll just turn it off anyway. Coaching tips are off. Heat seeker on, that's off. Switch assist off. Camera, we're going to go the standard camera. And we're going to go square, cross, triangle. Oh, nope. That's the one. And tutorial pop-ups off. Camera toggle on. And that's all good. So we're going to go start the career. And start the career. So yeah, this is the third career we're doing. The other one is an... And be sure to check these out if you guys haven't already. There are playlists on my channel. It's just on the, I guess you'd call it the home page of my channel, or the main page, or whatever you'd like to call it. The one is an Eagles coach connected franchise mode. I'm just using Chip Kelly there. I'm going to try to build them into a perennial Super Bowl contender. And the other one is a Marvin Lewis Bengals coach CFM. But that one, it was a fantasy draft. I actually did a fantasy draft. The full fantasy draft is on my channel if you want to check it out. Towards the end, I show my whole team, so... And I tried to show some of the other teams, but the game actually froze on me, so I was not able to show every team, but I might end up doing that eventually. But so you see this beating the odds after being overlooked coming out of Oklahoma. Marcus Dupree had to sweat it out just to get to this point. Either way, he's made his first NFL roster. And let's see, Skip Bayless actually knew what he was talking about here. Why is nobody else talking about what a great fit Deshaun Jackson is with RG3? I think we found that out. Loving the new game prep feature in Madden this year. I don't know why you would tweet that. This year's got to be the 49ers year. That's funny. I'm looking at the numbers and something tells me Andy Dalton's poised for a bit, and that's funny too. So we're going to just go ahead and start this league here, start the season. This first episode is basically just showing you guys the creation of Dupree. And I'm actually going to show you who's ahead of him on this roster and who we have on this roster too. So if you go to the roster, there we go. So our quarterbacks, Sam Bradford, Sean Hill, Austin Davis, and Garrett Gilbert. That's coincidence. He also went to SMU. Halfbacks, wow, we got a lot of what the heck? Okay, so apparently we have Andre Ellington. That's a little weird. I don't think that should be there. I actually don't know why he's on this team to begin with. So I'm gonna have to try to find some way to get rid of him. Trey Mason, ton of running backs. Jeez. Zach Stacy, Benny Cunningham, Trey Watts, Isaiah Peed, Chase Reynolds, and Marcus Dupree. So we have a long way to go. Fullback, Corey Harkey. Wide receivers, Brian Quick, Kenny Britt, Stedman Bailey, Tavon Austin, Chris Givens, and Devin Wiley. These are the most updated rosters, by the way. Jared Cook, Lance Kendricks, Brad Smelly, Alex Bayer, and Jake McQuaid as our tight ends. Left tackle, Jake Long and Greg Robinson. Left guard, Roger Saffold. Center, Barrett Jones, Tim Barnes, Scott Wells, and Demetrius Rainey. And right guard, David Joseph, Mike Person. And rounding out the offense, right tackle, Joe Barksdale. Backing him up, Brandon Washington. Now we get to the defensive side of the ball. Chris Long, William Hayes, Ethan Westbrooks, and Mason Brodine. Right ends, Robert Quinn, Eugene Sims. Defensive tackles, Aaron Donald, Michael Brockers, Kendall Langford, Alex Carrington, and Matt Conrath. Get to the linebacking core, Alec Ogletree and Marshall McFadden, will be taking up the left outside linebacker jobs. Middle linebacker, James Laurinaitis, Colin McCarthy, and Darren Bates. And a right outside linebacker, Jolon Dunbar, Will Herring, and Corey Toomer. Now we get to the secondary. Janoris Jenkins, I actually drafted him in my Cincinnati Bengals series. EJ Gaines, Tremaine Johnson, Brandon McGee, and Marcus Robertson. Free safety, Mark Barron. He was acquired by the Rams with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that trade that happened a bit earlier in the season. LaMarcus Joyner backing him up, the rookie out of Florida State. Then strong safety TJ McDonald, Matt Daniels, Maurice Alexander, and Corey Davis. Our kicker, Greg the Leg Zerline, and our punter, very good, only 24 years old, Johnny Hecker. And those are our picks. And so that's the roster. So going back to halfback, we have a long way to go. I'm still not sure why Andre Ellington is on this team. On the startup screen, it said that only Mason, Stacy, and Cunningham were. I know Pede was, but either way, we can do it. We can get all the way up there. So this should be a fun series. I'm looking forward to doing it. And let me just check to see if we're anywhere in the kick return yet. We are second in kick return behind Tavon Austin, and second in punt return. So that's a good start there. 91 overall in both, I think, right? We were 91 at kickoff, yep. So good start, so at least we'll get time there probably. And looking at our third down running backs, I am not any of them. So awesome. Halfbacks up, now there's only 4 of them there. Okay, so either way, that's what we have to deal with here. Really looking forward to getting this series underway. And it should be a really fun, excuse me, a really fun series. If you like this video, be sure to leave it a like and share it around. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe, that way you don't miss any of my content. And that would just about do it. So until next time, guys, I'll see you. Peace out.